Hey everyone, this is Casey and welcome back to the channel. So today is your stimulus update and stimulus package update for August 2nd, 2020. And we have a lot to unpack today, so hopefully you guys stay with me to the end of the video. So yesterday, Senator Schumer told CNN that they had their longest meeting around 3 hours. Now this is the meeting that the Democrats and that the Republicans had, basically the House and the Senate. Now that's positive news because the Senate is and the House are getting very close to getting a stimulus package approved. Now, the CNBC reported that the issue is not with the stimulus check amount, which is a very positive thing. As of right now, the $1,200 is all but confirmed. The Democrats and also the Republicans have both agreed on that, and relatively also the amounts. The issue as of right now is the unemployment assistance. In addition to that, there's a lot of statements, I should say, articles online that are stating that the challenges right now aren't even between the Democrats and the Republicans, it's between the White House, which is very odd. So let's just kind of unwrap this a little bit. So as previously stated, the $1,200 stimulus checks are just all but guaranteed at this point. There's a lot of still contentious topics that are coming up in these meetings, but the stimulus check is not one of them. So they're all almost in agreement of the amount and also of the original limits of the 75,000 and also the 150,000 for families or 110,000 for head of household. So that's a positive news. What they cannot seem to agree on is the unemployment assistance. Now here's the reason why. So as you guys are aware, the Congress passed months ago the $600 additional unemployment amount, and the HEROES Act was passed by the House back in the middle of May, and they voted to keep that $600 a month for the next 4 months. And so the Republicans in their HEALS Act that got announced last week, they want to reduce that to $200 $200 a week. And Nancy Pelosi basically stated that that's just not going to happen. So she believes that the $200 a week proposal additional for unemployment, she says that it doesn't meet the needs of America's working families and that it's a condescension, quite frankly. And those are her words, almost verbatim. The Republicans are saying, well, let me rephrase this. Nancy Pelosi is saying that the Republicans are saying that, well, they don't really need it. They're just staying home because they make more money than they do working, the $600 a month. Now, appearing on the same program that Nancy Pelosi appeared on when she said this, Mnuchin, who's the Treasury Secretary, he said the administration was just flat out worried about the cost. He said that there's obviously a need to support the workers, support the economy, but he said on the other hand, they have to be careful about not piling on the enormous amounts of debt. And so for them, it's kind of a contentious issue with the amount of money. They're concerned about people don't want to go back to work or won't want to go back to work, and they're concerned about the debt, which I can totally understand that. But I'm wondering where that concern was with all of the stimulus money that was pumped into the stock market and all the big institutions. Not complaining, I'm just saying there seems to be a little bit imbalance there. Now, Mnuchin stated that he just flat out said that the increased benefits, they discourage the unemployed workers from seeking employment. At least that's what he believes. But there's a lot of economists that said that they don't believe that appears to be happening. And these economists are coming from Yale, so they don't think that the $600 a week is disincentivizing people. They think that it's helping people have a lot less stress with being pressured to want to go back to work in unsafe and unsanitary working conditions, and that it's taken a lot of pressure off of people being able to provide for their families and pay their bills and so forth. So this is what economists are saying from Yale, and which is one of the most respected colleges in the country. Now, despite the disagreement over the unemployment assistance, like I said, they do appear to be on the same page with the $1,200 stimulus check. Now, with that stated, there are some additional concerns with funding for schools. There are some additional concerns for the protection that the Republicans wanted to provide, specifically Republican Majority Leader McConnell. He still wants to provide the protections for businesses for 5-year protection so that employees and students for schools can't sue schools and colleges and businesses if they get sick from the corona. However, he has stated recently that he may be softening up a little bit on that. So that's a good thing. Now, here's the important thing. August 7th is the date to watch. And the reason being is because that is when the Senate is set to recess. Now, the House of Representatives was set to recess actually July 31st, but they have postponed their recess. The reason August 7th is such an important date is because if the Senate recesses, that we may not then have a package deal until the end of August at the earliest. But I just, as of right now, Senator McConnell hasn't stated whether or not that they're going to postpone the recess. I would be floored and then some if they turn around and they actually end up taking a recess for August 7th. We have a pandemic and we have an epidemic in this country right now. And the only thing that is keeping things afloat are people from going crazy or evictions going through the roof and food not being able to be put on people's table is because of the stimulus efforts that have taken place that have now expired as of last month. So, as of right now, we're not feeling the effects from the economy standpoint because we haven't had a full month. But if Congress, specifically the Senate, if they end up going on recess August 7th, there's going to be a lot of stuff to pay, a lot of heck to pay. I'm not going to say the word I really want to say, but things are going to get really bad really fast. So hopefully the Republicans in the Senate, that they do not go on recess August 7th and that they can get some type of deal done. Now, Munchin did also say that they don't think that they're close to a deal as of yet. So this may go into the next 2 or 3 or 4 days. But keep in mind, the 7th is the Friday of this week. And so for all intents and purposes, either they're going to get a deal done before this Friday or they're going to postpone the recess. And so that's why August 7th is a very important date to watch, because that is the deadline date before it's kind of the final hour before it's set for them to kind of take off. So it's going to be very interesting to find out if they actually get this passed or if they actually end up taking a recess and then coming back in a few weeks, which I can't possibly see. Another really important thing as well to keep in mind is that there's a lot of disconnects with the school funding, right? So, the Democrats want to provide a lot more funding and stimulus to schools and education than the Republicans do. And so that's a really big contentious issue as well. And they're like not even close. They're like double. I should say the Democrats are double the amount of what the Republicans want to put into that. Now, here's a really weird thing as well in terms of the White House. You guys have gotten this far. From what Nancy Pelosi is saying, she is stating that it is not the Republicans that are slowing up a bill, which is so crazy to think. She said it's the White House. She said that the White House is more adamant about not providing the $600 a week, and this is kind of taken out of quotes, but that it's the White House that's slowing up the bill on the package. And so what that tells me is that the Democrats and Republicans, for all intents and purposes, have gotten pretty close to a deal or have reached a general consensus. But the White House is very adamant on wanting to get additional funding, the tax breaks for businesses, and they're wanting to lower the limit amounts for the stimulus check payments. And so there's a lot of conflict right now that's going on with these stimulus updates and stimulus package negotiations. But I do want you guys to know to hang in there. Again, this is something that should have been passed last month, at the middle of last month at the latest, and then here we are as of August 2nd on a Sunday, and they're saying that they're nowhere near closer than they were previously. Well, I should say they're a little bit closer, but they're not definitively yet to give a solid answer in the next day or so. So hopefully we have some news that comes out here in the next 24 to 48 hours that they can get a deal done. It can surprise everyone, and then we can initiate these stimulus check payments. With the stimulus checks, the positive news with this is that Schumer did say, the Treasury, that they do have methods in place to ensure that the stimulus checks do get deposited a lot faster than previous ones. So please, please, please make sure, guys, if you received the stimulus check the first time, the odds are you're going to receive one this time. But I want to kind of reiterate that if you received the check in the mail and you didn't get it automatically deposited, it's because the IRS doesn't have your I should say either your tax returns or they don't have your banking information. So please make sure that you guys go to irs.gov site, where's my check, and make sure that you put your information, update that on the website so that they have that information, so that when it comes time to get the second stimulus check, you guys are going to receive that, and you're going to probably get that in the mail. You're going to get that in your checking account within like the next day. So that's a positive thing. So I just want to give you guys some encouragement. Please hang in there. I know it's frustrating. I know that everyone is waiting to hear a definitive answer. That is why I'm trying to give you guys relative updates. I don't want to do an update on a daily basis unless there's something to actually report on. And so that's why I want to do one today. because it does appear as though that they are making some progress, but it appears as though that the White House is what's currently slowing things up right now, and so hopefully they can get that rectified and resolved, and we can find out in the next few days before Congress is set to go on recess for August 7th. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hopefully you guys have found this beneficial. I do want to also encourage you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So this is a financial education channel. So here we upload a lot of videos on financial education, on stocks, on investing, on how to make money, how to save money, and a lot of the traps and tricks that companies and just overall in general with having money can do when you're trying to manage it and make it and spend it. So with that, I do appreciate you guys listening to the video. Also, I'd highly encourage you guys to comment below. I'd like to know what you guys think about this, about where we are with the stimulus update status. Do you guys think that it's normal to be this far into the process? Or do you guys think that we should have gotten this stimulus package approved a lot sooner than where we are now? So thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.